Yes, legends, how's everybody doing? Hope you're having a fantastic day today. We'll be analyzing the situation, of course, for Bitcoin and some other cryptos such as ICP, which is sitting at a very good support zone. Let's see if we get some more momentum. Are we going to recover? This is what we are going to be discussing today. The different scenarios that could happen here for the price of Bitcoin. Yes, today we did a bear market video update. Didn't get too much love, guys. People don't want to hear about bear market. How are you going to become bearish right now on the dip, on the big dip where it's a great opportunity to buy, right? Let's go through the comment section. Say hello to everybody, the wonderful community, the wonderful people here on the stream, all right? And we'll be discussing, guys, a little bit of what's going on here right now. We are trying to reclaim the lows here, okay? We are getting a bit of resistance from those lows of the 17th of October. However, on Bybit or futures exchanges, we already got above that wick, guys. We already above the wick. We slightly went below $100,000. I think that whales are extremely, very interested in buying Bitcoin at below 100K. I do personally think so. It's like 100K is that ultimate level of support, even though we got bigger support beneath us, which is that range, okay? Point of control, which is massive, guys. This range point of control that we do have from here, right, is absolutely huge. 96.5 is like the ultimate biggest, point of control that we have beneath us that can be very, very strong, of course, right? We might not even get down there, right? We might not get even down there. And we ever so slightly got below $100,000 yesterday evening, late night, depending on where you are, and or maybe midday, right? We actually got a bounce, and that $100,000 is around 6 digits. Anything below that kind of feels cheap for Bitcoin, especially for institutions, right? It's a nice round number. How much will 10 million get me? 100 Bitcoin. How much would 100 million get me? Well, 1,000 Bitcoin, right? So I think the big players, right, the multi-millionaires, even billionaires, they like to play around with, round digits. So, without a doubt, massive amount of limit longs below $100,000 is, 100% guaranteed, guys, right? This is why we're getting this relief rally already on the price of Bitcoin. So anyway, let's go right away through the comment section. Say hello to everybody, right? The wonderful community, right? Morning, Andy, what you got for us today, says Mario. We'll be taking a look at a few scenarios, of course, on Bitcoin. ICP got a big swing failure pattern, guys, from the range highs. I mean, this was the first target zone. I have to say, I didn't sell any ICP of the spot bag, but wow, what a swing failure pattern from the range highs that we had in 2025. This is like super simple shorting strategy, right? Big pump, of course. The pump was looking very aggressive, but man, look no further. This is almost, how long was this? A 6-month consolidation in September, in 2025. And we just swing failure pattern here very aggressively, which was very, very likely to happen, at least a correction. And now we're coming down to the base, which we are dancing around. This is the zone that I want ICP to hold throughout the next coming days. Point of control, value area low, right? And get the lows of the range to get proof of support here. And, ultimately see if we do get that pump, or has this just been a short squeeze? It's been a trap for the bulls, and we ultimately going to lose that level. But the most important level here is literally where we're sitting at here, in between $5, $5.60. We're going to give it a little bit of room there because we got the point of control and the value area low, which looks very, very interesting. Anyway, we're not here to talk about, one of my biggest altcoin bags. We're here to talk about Bitcoin, which is getting a nice bounce. Bullish scenarios. I like the bullish scenarios, guys. 100K I think is a good support just on its own. Not that we do have any levels there, such as daily naked point of controls or anything. It's around 100K, right? 100K, 6 digit. When you get below that, it turns into 5 digit. It's a very, very good psychological support. Not that we have it on the chart. So instant reaction here. okay, at below 100K. We just dropped about $1,000, depending on what exchange, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And ultimately, we're getting a nice relief today of around about $4,000, right? So is this movement already good, or is it going to be a very choppy one, lower high, and we roll over? Well, it's going to be kind of an easy way to identify where the price really wants to, where I want it to form a lower high here, okay, for us to continue here with this being a potential impulsive move to the downside, right? Is this downtrend going to continue, right? And we're just continuing here with this wave, or are we actually going to form a wave 4, right? And then a wave 5. And that will not be looking too great, right? If we do get a large consolidation here, right, without overlapping this pivot low, right, which is at 106.4, and then we claim the lows again, we can structure this as a 5-wave impulse to the downside, which is not going to be looking too great, all right? And I would be expecting lower prices if this were to be the kind of momentum that we follow through in the next coming days. It would just be a very solid impulse down, followed by this impulse down, and eventually a double 1-2 here could be on the cards. So we don't want this consolidation. We don't want a large consolidation. If the price were to reject from here, from this little bounce that we got in the last 24 hours, and come down, I would still consider this part of the same wave. However, if we are going to get the same amount or similar amount of timing on the bounce than this one, that's when we can label this a new wave. And if you claim the lows, look no further here, right? If you are going to get rejected at the 382 50% Fibonacci from this lower high that we formed on Sunday at 111.2K to the recent lows of yesterday, that's literally where you would reject as a wave 4. Okay, 382 50%. Golden pocket is already overlapping this pivot low. So if you do form in this area a lower high, I would like it to consolidate the similar amount of time as this one, because if we were to reject very strongly in the next coming hours, and come down to the lows, I would consider this little bounce still part of this wave. Okay, so that it wouldn't be a wave 4 just as of yet. So we have a 3-wave move. This is the most important thing that we have right now. This needs to stay as a 3-waver if we want a good bullish recovery in the next coming days. It needs to stay a 3-waver. If it is going to complete a consolidation and claim the lows again below $98,000, right? Or 99, the lows from yesterday. That's when we can structure another 5-wave down, right? There is a bullish case scenario eventually on this, which would just be looking at this as an ABC, right? There's always more bullish scenarios here eventually, but it wouldn't be looking too attractive, right? It wouldn't be looking that attractive as you got another impulse down, but from all-time high, it would be just a larger 3-wave move also. Obviously, 3 waivers has the potential of being a correction and then obviously reversing. So we do have quite a few of bullish scenarios here for the next coming weeks, guys, to get a recovery. I have to be honest. Despite going lower, there are many scenarios of saying, hey guys, let's just remember where we're coming from, right? Let's just remember on the higher time frame where we're coming from. I'll go through the comment section here just in 1 second. All right, but let's see. Oh my goodness, Tradingview is doing the same BS again. Right, big move to the upside, big consolidation, correction. Large one, multi-monthly one after an epic move to the upside. Epic move to the upside, Q4 of 2024. Big correction, guys, multi-monthly after such a big move up. It's so big, this move, that it needs a big range big correction. Look no further. This movement that we've had since April of this year, all the way to up to all-time high in August, and even October, which it did reach the all-time high there. Man, this is an epic, huge move. So yeah, I mean, we have time to range and correct, and very much have the idea that the higher time frame bull run is still pretty much intact. Now, a lot of people are taking into consideration that 50 weekly moving average. So this is why it is, natural to get this buying pressure, not only because it's $100,000, nice round psychological, the last point of having Bitcoin as 6 digits, then it's 5 digits, right? And the 50 weekly moving average, which has been respected as support, right? Overall, in technical analysis, in Elliott wave terms, the bullish case scenario, as explained in today's video update, that didn't get much love, guys. People don't want to take a look at the bearish thumbnails. Is getting a flat here. Okay, man, I am feeling. I don't know. I feel kind of confident that it's probably going to hit all-time high at some point, be it December or maybe entering into 2025, of course, 2026. It's been having a little bit of hopium, right? But there is a lot of technical reasons that back it up. Not only the higher time frame bullish market structure, guys. I mean, come on. What do you expect? We were so aware, guys, from this correction here. Do you think that we're going to blast off really to 140, 150K from this correction that we had here? Man, this all-time high was dangerous. It was dangerous. I think we have it here somewhere, right? We were aware of this scenario. Potential ABC flat, guys. The fact that from this correction, we are coming to all-time high, man, there is this very, very local bearish case scenario for October that brings us down to potentially below 107K, which is the lows, right, of September and October, right? Man, it wasn't looking nice. It wasn't looking nice for this correction to move up to all-time high, man. This is dangerous. This is bad. This is not a healthy pullback from a major rally that we've had. Now we get the big pullback. Well, yeah, obviously there's bear market talk right now, right? There's bear market talk. But hey, when we look at the proportion, la proporción muy importante del impulso, la corrección está en proporción al impulso que tenemos al alza. Esto es totalmente normal. Right? It's normal. So I'm not too worried. I am actually, I like how the price is developing. It's actually pretty damn nice. And we are going to go through, it's time to talk bullish. It's time to talk bullishness. Even today was a bearish bear market, just to bring a little bit of drama, guys. We like drama as well. That's how YouTube works, apparently. But we try and get a bit of drama, right? But I like it. We got some good scenarios here for the bullish case, I have to be honest. And one of them, which I favor, right? We are rolling down, of course. But man, we are hitting some crucial, important levels here. And at the end of the day, right, this is a 3-wave move down. Hitting the C wave, common C wave targets. Common C wave targets. What is the common C wave targets? 1-to-1 to the 1236 extension from your possible A wave. 1-to-1 to the 1236 is the common area for a wave C. We're just putting that out there, right? 3-wave up. 3-wave up. What does this 3-wave up after a 3-wave down have the potential to? What does this... Hang on a minute. I'm in the middle here. of that A wave. 3 wave down, 3 wave up. Take a look here at Fibonacci, a little bit of fibs. I mean, this one did hit the 1.618 extension, I have to say. This one did hit the 1.618, which is still a target regardless for C wave. We were considering the bullish case, but we were very much aware of, you know, the bearish case as well, right? We need to consider this. 3 wave down and 3 wave up. You know the deal. The possibility of coming down to 107k is real, guys. Not that we have to talk about bearish and bullish, right? And then obviously you adapt to the local market conditions, signs of strength, reclaiming some levels of resistance. It's looking bullish, swing failure pattern. I'm longing, I'm shorting. You get the deal, right? We talk about the different scenarios on a higher time frame. And then on a lower time frame, we talk about, you know, what signs of strength do we need or signs of weakness to go lower. So we'll get to that in the next coming minutes. But first of all, higher time frame, considering, you know, all of this Picasso drawing and with a bit of Fibonacci, and realizing that if you have a 3 wave down and a 3 wave up, you can move down in a 5 waver here. With that theory, when we consider the bounce that we had from the 17th of October, 3 wave up, the bullish scenario looked absolutely awful, guys. We were trying to figure out a bullish case. It was an expanding diagonal and a possible flat here, and it just was, you know, low probability everything, right, for the bullish case, which we understood, right? It's not looking good for the bulls, and this is likely going to be a 3 wave corrective move up, and meaning that it has high potential to claim the low. So 3 wave up, 3 wave down. What gives you the potential for? It gives you the potential for a awesome recovery to get to 116k. I'm just saying the price is getting a little bounce. Good initial signs of strength. We're going to monitor a little bit here how the price is developing throughout the coming days, because maybe, and only maybe, this could be the first wave from this impulse that gets us to $116,000. Just like these were the first waves that got us down to $107,000. It's in your best interest that we detect the sign of weakness, and in this case, the sign of strength, which could be developing already with this bounce. We're going to go through the lower time frames and try and identify if it's looking good or not, and what levels we should be getting above, so we can be confident that an ultimate recovery could be on the formation. Still a little bit soon. We're just getting a relief rally. Let's not get too bullish as of yet, guys, but it's possible. And if something is possible in life, we take it into consideration. Let's go through the comment section first of all, and we'll continue, because I didn't say hello to the different people. Join the Legends community where Devil is mainly doing the updates. I have to say, I'm retiring, guys. Devil is doing the updates. I'll be doing some updates there tomorrow on the Legends Pro community, guys. If you want to join, that's where you get all of the internal analysis, the possibilities, possible setups, all the action from the day. ICP was just a pump and dump from, it's going back to $3 probably. Maybe. Come on, man. Give me some hope. Why? Why are you saying this? It was only a short squeeze, right? Look, we're at that stage of the bull run, right, where it's people are in doubt. We haven't seen altcoins really rallying. I'm not selling. I was actually in a profit yesterday night. I didn't sell at a loss. I didn't sell at a slight profit. Not a bag that I would, it's just not enough capital, not enough cash for me to, take the profit. I didn't care holding out a loss. I didn't care holding out a slight profit here. Yes, just for a few minutes. I'm currently back at break-even zone, right, which is in between the $5-6 area. So I mean, hey, we're going to give it a chance, okay? Let's just give these things a chance. And yeah, we'll go from there. Anyway, Joan, how are you doing, my man? Much love to you, brother. Can you talk about Near Protocol? Yeah, we have to take a look at a couple of altcoins. I am also not selling Hold On or Die. We just did not have the alt season we are all hoping for. Exactly. Right? So we either get it or we hold to zero, right? Let's see if ICP can hold that $5 area. Cheers from Spain. My man, Marc. Qué grande eres. De España. Hometown. Because I am Spanish, guys. Low and lows, basically. What about we reach a bottom? It says Godak. Maybe so. We just marking low time frame candles. Low is not in. C waves is not finished. C wave is not finished at 94,000. Need to support 1-to-1 correction if we want to do another all-time high. Well, there's many scenarios, right? We don't have to have that only one scenario that we need to get the 1-to-1 and hit the $94,000 level. I tell you what, we have some other scenarios, right? The one that's more attractive for a pump in the next couple of weeks is the one that I explained in today's video update, which, hey, I just have to say, I think you're talking about this ABC, right? Which is from this high. I don't like it. I don't like it. If you are considering this to be a 1-to-1 and hit that target that you say, $94,000, 1-to-1 for this to be an ABC, that is a simple way of viewing the market from this high. We have to consider what has happened in the previous waves, right? We need to consider how we got up there and what is all this mess, not only counting this 3-wave move to the downside, because you will be surprised and you might see 116K next week, expecting lower, right? So yeah, that's it. It's a simple view. The main reason why we are considering this possible flat here is because we do have the flat from this high, because there is a huge problem. People are not paying attention to this 3-wave to the upside. A lot of people are going to be looking at divergences and all of this, right? There's a 3-wave move up from this correction. People forget about this. People will forget about this, and it's super important. It is super important to consider what can develop in this drop. We already have, for me, it is the highest probability, okay, still for the moment, that this was not all-time high from this cycle. Okay, because from the low of April to this high, there is a 5-wave move in a contracting diagonal. But if we want to count this high, I am still giving priority to the bulls here, even though we get down below 100K or even 90K, guys. There's still the potential of all of this being corrective. When we zoom back here, hear me out, guys, because, this was extremely complex correction. Lots of overlap, but it was still rolling down, and this was a massive drop of 30% from its all-time high back in early 2025 when Trump became president. This was a 30% drop. We realized it was highly corrective because there was a lot of overlap here, and there was no solid way to count an impulse. So we were all considering this. Not all of us. I mean, I was considering this all of being choppiness and corrective. And at some point, we're looking for all-time high. Same as this range right over here. And the same as this one right over here. Right? The one that we had here back in 2024, if Tradingview wants to load, but it doesn't want to, so we're not going to show that. So I have to say, it is important, guys, to consider this. People, will forget. Obviously, we need to consider the bearish case scenarios, which they are, right? Can be completely wrong here, but I cannot fit a solid 5-wave move from this correction of April to this high here because of this 3-wave move to the upside. I just, I've gone through every single scenario, and the one that fits better eventually is that 5-wave move in the contracting diagonal. There's no other way to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because it would have to be an expanding diagonal, and your wave 5 is smaller than your wave 3. So there's problems here to count this as all as an impulse and this to be the end, which it makes sense for all of this to be an impulse and this be the end, and all of this is part of a complex corrective structure, which is what we're trying to find out here. We were trying to develop this, and it's all good, guys. It's still all good. I have to say, just as I explained on the higher time frame, we need to give it a chance. We'll go through the 1 hourly right now and the 15-minute, but you need to give it a chance where you have a 3-wave corrective move, a 3-wave move to the upside, big impulse down to create that low on the 17th of October, right? On futures, we're not considering that wick. We're looking at the spots or even the CME one that was actually even better looking, creating the low on the 17th, not on the 10th. So if you have a 3-wave up and you have a 3-wave down, you can also create a flat here. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out to you, just so we consider some bullish scenarios, right? We consider some bullish scenarios. Even though the price would consolidate here, right? And let's just say it forms that wave 4, because you have your 1, 2, 3, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you take out the lows again. If you take out the lows again, I mean, look no further. This would be absolutely awesome to look for long positions. I would really consider the swing failure pattern from $98,000. I would consider the point of control at 96.5, the biggest point of control that we have, okay, at 96.5. If we do form this, look no further. A 5th wave, you're looking for a significant rally, right? So I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, your best levels here is that range point of control and the higher low that we have from the 22nd of June. That is the SFP zone, the point of control of the range here. We got another naked point of control around 94K, but it's from this area. But I'm not considering it. There's too much support. We might even bounce before getting down there, guys. So if it does form that lower high, right, and that's where we're going to get to the 15-minute time frame and try and identify, is this corrective? For the moment, it's pushing through, but who's feeling good to get into a short here? Who's feeling good to short now, right? Longs are looking more attractive based on the bullish scenarios, and one of them eventually is that really good flat, right, where we could be forming our first recovery. When will this look attractive? This will look attractive, okay, and let's keep it simple here. Go to the 1 hourly time frame. If this does want to load, there we go. We are downtrending, let's not forget that. Low, lower high, lower low. Even though the price rallies to 107, 108K, where we have the biggest resistance area, it could still be a lower high. What is going to be important is to get some kind of a big ass volume candle to the upside, at least of $2,000-$3,000 from current price levels. This is still BS. All of this bounce is BS. This could roll over in a matter of minutes. This is not a sign of strength. This could definitely be corrective. If you are considering the bearish case here, I mean, this to be a wave 3, it's still relatively shallow. You just barely got across the 1-to-1, not hitting the 1, 2, 3, 6. So what we want to be aware of eventually is, you know, a 1, 2, 1 and 2, right? I'm not too interested very much here in shorting, if I'm honest. I want to wait for that first sign of strength, because if we get that solid sign of strength here, there will be a move down at some point, regardless if it's 106 or it's 109. It doesn't matter. But there will be a pullback. There will be some kind of a pullback, and that's what we need to identify very, very carefully in the next coming days if we were to get the bullish case, right? All of this is a bunch of BS. For the moment, this could easily be a correction. We're rolling down, right? We are downtrending. We are just staying optimistic for the bearish scenario. The biggest zone of resistance, we're probably coming into it very, very closely now in the next coming hours if we do continue pumping. It is, yeah, we got today's levels, which is previous day point of control. Previous day point of control from that consolidation that we had yesterday, Tuesday, on the 4th of November. We got a nice little range. That's the previous day point of control sitting at 103.9k. We're coming into that level very, very soon. Previous day value area high is sitting at 105k. This could be the struggle area. Sweep up those lower highs. You know, I would be paying attention. Eventually. You could get an SFP from this lower high right there, where we have previous day value area high. That's after this big high volume candle sitting at 105.1. That lower high is interesting. It's a very, very classic move up after the big volume candle to the downside. The first lower high, it's a very, very classic rejection point. There's a nice little scalp there. There is a good, nice little scalp down to the point of control. Anybody that's interested in scalping, your 105.15 approximately, 105,200. Anyway, depending on what exchange, that candle lower high on the 1 hourly, it's just where we have the previous day value area high. We've got some resistance, support resistance flip area. Yeah, likely going to get a rejection here of you know, possibly $2,000 if you SFP here from that level, right? Literally sweeping those lower highs of yesterday of this little range. That's a nice little scalp short, I have to say. That might turn into the rollover, right? We are downtrending, let's stay real here. But that's the only level that I would be kind of interested in, you know, safely getting into a trade with good risk management, right? Sweep a range lower high zone after a big high volume candle is kind of pretty classic. And if you have the previous day value area high backing up that resistance, point of control seems a little bit in the middle of no man's land, I have to say. I wouldn't be I'm not too fussed about the point of control here. Yeah, 50% Fibonacci. That is also good, guys. Look at the confluence that we have here from the highs created on Sunday at 111k. This is a new leg down. 50% Fibonacci is just sitting at the 105k level, just slightly above, where we have the little range lower highs after a big candle to the downside, right? You got that inefficiency, right? Fair value gap, and fair value gaps eventually, you know, they do provide resistance. So that's a good level, guys. This is a good level to speculate on a short trade. Just, I mean, at least down to the point of control if you SFP from it. Looking at day trading scenarios, could it be the one that actually, you know, breaks down and continues to, you know, and claims the low later on? I'm pretty much more interested in reversals. I would take this as a scalp. What we want to see on the bullish case, just a good level of confluence, guys, right? We need to get setups here for the viewer as well, right? We need to get some trading plans, just in and out, make some quick cash, right? And that's a very, very solid level. First lower high after this candle, little bit of the range of yesterday. Value area high from yesterday, 50% Fibonacci from this leg down. Point of control, I mean, is with the 382 almost. I'm not liking it too much. Not enough confluence. I'd rather sweep some highs. It's a good level for a quick scalp. Maybe down to the point of control, maybe down to the VWAP. If it rejects from here, then so be it. It's just been a correction. But yeah, obviously the price might get a little reaction here, but it's not enough of confluence for me to consider it a trade. Okay. We always like liquidity grab, so sweeping up these local highs is kind of nicer. If the price solidly moves up from here, that would be look pretty awesome, right? If the price, right, you're building up here, maybe 1-2s, and then you boom, right? And you know, we're suddenly getting a breakout here in between today and tomorrow. Muy posible, es posible. Es posible. Right, we move up, volume increasing, bang, we start getting to 105, 106k. It's looking good, it's looking powerful. We get volume increasing here on this move to the upside, and it manages to pump to $3,000. Absolutely epic. What do we have from the lows? Cheeky higher low right there. Might have been a low on another exchange, but we can consider multiple 1-2s. If you do break out this zone without creating that swing failure pattern at this level, I think this is the most solid level that we have close to us, the previous day value area high, with these lower highs in that fair value gap, with 50% Fibonacci from the overall downtrend since Sunday from 111k. It's the most solid level, especially if we're going to consider a wave 4 formation, right, on the higher time frame, right? There's so many things to take into consideration right there for the rejection. What if this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3? Your wave 4 doesn't want to overlap this pivot, right? If it is going to be an impulse. I'm not a fan that this is going to be a wave 4. I am more of a fan of a ultimate recovery here. So if we do break up in a wave 3 and we overlap from this pivot, first major good sign of a reversal in the next coming days, guys. First sign of strength that we are getting, you know, to really look to target $116,000 potentially in the next 1 to 2 weeks. It's the first sign of strength. So that's going to be super good if you overlap this pivot, because you're already invalidating the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, which is good. Obviously, the most bearish one is a 1, 2, 1, 2. You could still form a multiple 1, 2 here. The zone of rejection, I mean, this is, you really need to go to the 15-minute time frame analyzing the waves here, because this could still be corrective, guys, right? We're just hoping for a bullish push up here that gives us our first sign of strength to get an ultimate recovery in the next coming weeks. Well, this could be corrective and we're just going to roll down, right? We're just getting a little bit of hope here. Okay, so don't get me wrong. And what I would like to see eventually with this momentum is, let's see if we could push out. This is the opportunity, right, between today and tomorrow to see if this is going to be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see if we get that momentum, right? Bit of high volume, and then eventually your 4, your 5, your 4 and 5 right there, right? You've got a bit of a double 1, 2 in this zone. Let's see if it does manage to squeeze out with increasing volume, and then we continue the choppiness, creating that potential impulse up. This impulse to the upside, if we break up here and let's say that we get to 105, 106k, which is going to be a nice pump of $3,000 with high volume, could be an internal first attempt to create an impulse. Where could we chop out on this 4-5, right, and form a lower high to get the reversal, potentially a correction, which is what we are going to be interested in, right? Maybe in the next coming days. If we start channeling here to the downside, it's going to be looking pretty damn good, right? It's going to be looking pretty damn good if we can solidly count an impulse here in the next coming days. So where could we reject at the 4-5s, right? Where can we, when after that big move up, if it does happen, right? And then obviously after a big move to the upside, you expect eventually the next waves to, you know, fail, right? Not continue massively. That would be rare, but it's possible, but it would be rare. Well, look no further. We have a naked point of control from the price action of Monday. This consolidation hasn't been tapped. It's naked. And we have the value area low of the trading zone of October, right? Trading zone of October. We have the value area low, which is sitting at that area exactly. So that's the rejection point. If the price were to move up here and then boom, 4-5, right? 4-5. You got a couple of 1-2s here. Let's see if the price does manage to push through with a bit of volume, pump $2,000-$3,000. You know, it's looking good for a third wave. Bulls are back. They want to try and reverse the downtrend that we've had in the last few days. We could get that signal in the next, 24 to 48 hours. We could get that signal. It is the chance. Will this bounce end up failing, rolling over? We are downtrending. We need to accept that it has a good chance to do that. But what I am interested is the first sign of the reversal, guys, which is going to be this. Because the first sign of weakness, right, in this case, all the way up here, you want to join that third wave no matter what, right? You want to join this big move down. But you get the first sign of weakness first. This is your first sign of weakness to then break down and then form your 4 and 5, right? We want on the 1 hour 15 minute time frame, we want our first leg up here to prove us that we do have a sign of strength. It looks more impulsive than corrective. Correct down to initial support levels. Obviously, like I mentioned, where could that 4 and 5 reject? 107k. Look no further. Value area low of October with a naked point of control from the Monday's price action. And yeah, I mean, this is without a doubt a zone that I would expect the price really to struggle. 107k. This is the zone where the price could pull back a couple of $1,000s easily, right? It is the rejection point. If in the 15-minute time frame we're starting to chop around, right, you're looking for those double, triple tops, exhaustion kind of momentum into this resistance. Valid for a short, I have to say, but I would be very interested in taking the long, after this pullback, very carefully looking at local supports, carefully looking at this zone. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, if this is going to form that 3, 4, and 5, man, if we can detect that this looks very, very corrective, it doesn't really matter where you enter, right? It doesn't really matter exactly where you're entering. You are looking for that swing trade of at least a few days and potentially over a week to get all the way up to 116k. We need that. We need this rally to give us a little bit of, it's looking good, right? It's looking damn good. And that's what we need. Get that push up potentially between today and tomorrow. If it doesn't, guys, then another lower high and we off to claim the lows. What can I say? We are bearish. Of course, it does become challenging here to short, but as mentioned, I think this order block, you don't want, if you are going to form a lower high, preferably you don't break above this order block successfully, this fair value gap. So it's either the 382 Fibonacci from this pivot high to the pivot low, or the 50%. Preferably, if you are going to break this zone and this fair value gap, you're coming all the way up to hit this pivot low. And that could be boom, 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 right? You get those reactions. You're bouncing from the fair value gap low, order block high, previous day value area high, get some support, claim the highs again. That will already, look like a pretty interesting impulse. Okay, this is your zone of rejection, 107 to 108k, give or take a few $100s for volatility, right? It's not an exact zone, but it's a zone where the price could reject. And then, hopefully it is an impulse, wave 1, wave 2. Then we want to be in this wave, right? We need to identify the sign of strength and we need to all jump in a long position to get to $116,000, which would be the main target of this projection. It is hopium, but the price is going to give us signs, guys, right? This is a map, and the map needs to give us the information on who's winning, right? The chart tells us who's winning. For the moment, the bears are winning right now. Let's be honest, right? It's pretty obvious the bears are winning, but I can tell you how the bears could have the first, the bulls could have the first signs of reversing, right, and start winning in the next coming weeks, right, with levels where of potential rejection. If the bears really want to reject in this zone to form a solid lower high, if we are going to consider 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we need to understand the risk of 1, 2, 1, 2. Even though if you do get above this zone and you overlap this pivot low, a 1, 2 is a double 1, 2 is always an option. If you are forming lower highs, it's still potentially another lower high. Shorts will be looking interesting at 107k area. I would be very much happy to attempt possible shorts here if the exhaustion gives me that, right? Double, triple toppy zone, you're rolling over with the price action, gives me the reason to take that short for the double 1, 2 maybe, right, in the most bearish case. So we need to adapt to the conditions here. And yeah, as explained, this order block is possibly the rejection zone, guys, right? I'm kind of getting a little bit too optimistic here with the bullish case. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, hey, let's get that first impulse and reverse already. But let's stay real, it is bearish. This could be a very choppy, for the moment it's not looking great. Just like this BS, right? This was a bunch of BS. What the heck is this? We were very much counting this movement to the downside as highly probability and impulse. So there's two options. The flat did not look good after an expanding diagonal. It was a bunch of BS for this to be bullish. It's not looking good, guys. At that moment, you kind of need to recognize that. Come on, it gets to a point that it's silly to talk about the bullish case scenario with this zone. You had to give it a chance. We needed to talk about it, but no chance, right? No chance. We got this BS bounce. All right, at the point of control. Well, what do you expect? Of course, it didn't get above it successfully. It was a big crappy 3-wave structure, with a third wave being a double top, not even attempting the breakout. Such a weak 3-wave move up after an impulse, man. What do you expect? Of course we're going to break down, right? So we could say the same thing, right? Local resistance, order block zone, previous day value area high, point of control. This is the big major zone, right? If the bears want to, I would say I would want to wait patiently here for an SFP of these order block high, fair value gap, 50% Fibonacci from the pivot high of the wave to the wave down. I mean, come on, look no further. That's the sweet spot right there. Good trade. That's a good trade. Anything here is still, you need to give the bulls a little bit of a chance, or the correction a bit more of a chance. But it is resistance. But I mean, if I'm shorting a lower high, I want to sweep of some internal ranges lower highs. I want to get into an SFP. Just realizing the possibility of, could be a 3-wave up, 3-wave down. It's becoming also dangerous at the same time, to short. I mean, you can have your own strategy, of course. I'm looking at a sniper, good entry, good risk management if we do SFP from those lower highs. But you get the point here, right? I'll go through the comment section in the next couple of minutes, guys. Give me a second. Just talking about the levels internally here. Some internal possible trading plans, right, that you can consider. This would be a scalp short with the potential of rolling lower. 105.1k. Fair value gap. Previous day value area high. If it pushes through, that's a pretty damn good sign if you get above this order block there, that you could act as support 4-5, and then maybe you break it down here, but that still will be good. If you are consolidating, in the next 1-2 days after this rally, that manages to get to 107.5k zone, and then we chop around in a channel here. Oh my goodness, guys, this is going to be, there'll just be 1 or 2 days to take decision here to say, I'm going to join, because if you don't join, the price will leave without you, right? You're going to have to FOMO in or something. But the same here, right? The same as this movement down. If you do not decide to join on any of this zone, the price will go, right? I mean, obviously the price moves faster to the downside than to the upside, but overall, you know, that's where you want to join for the potential third wave. We want to join the potential third wave here, right? Do you want to get into a move of $1,000, or do you want to get into a move of $10,000 possibly, right? You know where I'm going, right? We want to get into the fucking big move, right? Excuse my language there, but we want to get into the big move. So we need that information still. We're still downtrending. This could be a correction. I get it. You know, we could just roll over. If you want to attempt any shorts, this is your first major zone. Previous day point of control, previous day value high. If you want to speculate on a lower high, then this is your zone. If you get back above this, I would say we're going to 107k. So that's your first rejection zone. If you get above this successfully, then this is your next major resistance zone. Inside of this area, I would not want to participate in anything, because there's literally, you've got that gap with the fair value gap. Not much resistance in this between 105 and 107.5k. There's not much going on here. So the bears need to reject from this area. If not, they move up here. And if they move up here, you're already giving a good sign for this to be a potential low. Unless it's a 1-2-1-2. So we really need a study. Obviously, I'm just charting a little bit right now based on the levels and Elliott wave theory, right? To try and make some sense. But you need to take into consideration the delta, a little bit of CVD divergences, right? Lots of selling pressure coming in on the pullback, right? That's creating higher lows on price action, lower lows on CVD. There's other factors that you want to take into consideration, of course, for the decision. But obviously, with a little bit of Picasso drawing here, I hope that you do get an idea of what we're looking at, right? Just with levels on the chart and a bit of Elliott wave theory, how to recognize that sign of strength and how to recognize, you know, where the bears need to reject. Because if they do not reject this box, we're coming up to 107k, right? And that's where you take decisions. You're responsible with your risk management, right? And you're looking to get into a possible position. Anybody that is interested in getting into positions responsibly, guys, bluffing right now is throwing the house out the window. That's a Spanish saying. Está tirando la casa por la ventana. 20% deposit bonus, guys. Cashback on bluffing right now. They hooked me up today and said, hey, we don't want to give back to the community. 20% cashback, guys, on bluffing, only for the first 100 users, okay? Make sure to read the terms and conditions that you do see here once you sign up with the link down below. And that is the bonus that you get, 20% cashback. It was 15, they increased it, so I don't know what's going on here. They want more users eventually using their platform. They want to be number one, which they are they're getting very close. They are getting into, you know, very good liquidity. Interface is great. You can trade gold there as well. Bluffing, BTCC also is a great one, guys, where you do get up to $10,000 in rewards, okay? You can trade stock market on BTCC. That is the good thing about BTCC. You can trade the S&P 500. Take advantage, guys. You got those bonuses down below. So that's a little bit of the zone, guys. Are you feeling bullish? Are you feeling bearish? Let me know down below in the comment section, man. I am just, man, this is the resistance area. This is the level where we could reject, guys. Let's be honest. The best trade for me here would be SFP of the order block high at 105.1. Fair value gap. That would be the best set level for me. Forming a lower high here or not. You know, we at the point of control from yesterday. We at the 382 from the highs of Sunday to the lows. I have to say, it's a bit of a sniper. You might just touch it now in the next coming minutes. Sitting at 103 point. Well, yeah, the 382 has been hit already. Point of control is slightly higher. we like liquidity grabs, we like order blocks, we like, you know, a little bit of bigger moves. So that's the best zone for an SFP in my opinion. This is a little bit in no man's land, right? Stay cautious of the potential of that first leg up, guys. Let's see. Could be looking good on the higher time frame, as explained. The bearish case scenario, guys, is just continuing to the downside. There's no more to it. Form another lower high either in this region, right, as explained, at 105k, or, you know, if we do get push up to 107.5, that is resistance. We would expect a pullback in that zone, right? You need to see the price chopping around, as explained. Bearish case scenario is just continuing the downtrend, right? Forming a lower high at some stage here and rolling back down to claim the lows. And I would be interested in either the SFP from this higher low that we do have from the 22nd of June. The chart is not loading now, but there is that higher low. Hang on a minute, what's going on? Yeah, this higher low right over here. What the heck's this level here? What's this? Oh, daily open went there. Okay. I was thinking, why did this horizontal level? That's the daily open of today, which for some reason went all the way back there. So this higher low right there will be an interesting SFP. Point of control even better. I mean, this is the zone that I would even be very, you know, I would be wanting to get into swing longs with just, you know, 1-2% capital, you know, give or take stop loss at 90k. But it's the moment where I want to see a sign of strength and obviously build that position as we get the sign of strength. Catching the lows, you know, it's risky, right? So you don't want to go too heavy. You can go with a small amount and then build that trade once you get some signs of strength, right, for that reversal. But bearish case is just forming another lower high and rolling over and claiming the lows, guys. What can we say? We are downtrending. But today we were talking about what we need to see to identify the sign of strength, the levels of resistance. Well, let's stay clear, guys. The market is bearish. It's downtrending. No signs of reversing yet. I told you what we need to see. I would like to see at least a move up to 107k and, you know, identify a local impulse from the lows. So yeah, probably getting there. It might happen, might not. Lower high, claim the lows. Stay safe, guys, with your trading. Let's go quickly through the comment section and say neutral at the moment, says Graham. Absolutely. Yo quiero Taco Bell, I'm feeling. Much love to you, Joyf. Staffer One, much love to you, brother. Thank you very much for joining the stream, giving love and power. Go and check out today's video, guys. We talk about the scenarios, some levels, okay? This was just a rinse and repeat. Andy, difference between liquidity sweep and grab? Same thing, my man. Thank you. Where's Dewa? Much love to you, my man. Thanks for joining and smashing up the live button. How many likes do we have, man? Today's stream has been muy malo. Ooh, 135 likes, man. My mum gets more likes on Facebook, man. Seriously, no joke, guys. Send it immediately, says Crypto by Mattia. Go and check him out, guys. Absolute legend. Great content. Very easy to listen. Very easy explanations. Not like me, which I'm very, very, you know, very, very difficult with the complex explanations. A lot of people just don't, you know, can't follow through. Much love to everybody. I've entered sniper, always get stopped out later. Yeah, this is the danger about sniper trading, right? Or if you're looking for a swing long, you can always enter with 1%. Enter with 1% here with a fast stop loss, and then add to that position on sign of strength. If you're adding against the move down, well, we do not know how low it's going to get, right? So we haven't got a sign of strength still yet, guys. Even though we're getting a little bounce from 100k, we haven't had our first impulse up, which means this could be corrective and another lower high is forming in this green box and we're going to roll over back to the lows. What can we say? right? It is the it is the rejection zone here internally on the lower time frame. Much love to everybody. I hit the like. Yeah, maybe that like will go to 200. No joke, my mom gets more likes on Facebook, guys, than me on YouTube. It is what it is. What can we say? Just consolidate here, maybe. Yeah, maybe consolidation here. Hello, Chartist. Have a great trading day. Rudy, much love to you, my man. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing good. Legend's going to wrap it up. Today I did a video update. I just wanted to do a live stream for an hour-ish or so. It is late here. I need to have some dinner. I'm going to set some alerts. It could be interesting for this SFP order block. Would be nice. Fair value gap. 105.1k. Here, it is a bit aggressive for me anyway. It is the 382. It is the previous day point of control. I mean, it is resistance. Okay, it is resistance. Previous day point of control has always been a valid resistance zone, right? And we are downtrending, so yeah. Order block, previous day point of control. This is a strong level on the 1 hourly, guys. So any shorts, take with good risk, but it could be just a lower high. Let's be honest. Much love to everybody, okay? Smash up the like button. Are we going to get to 200? Let's get to 200, guys, before we end the stream. Come on, man. Oh, my goodness. Pretty lame. Get less than 200 likes on a stream. Man. Holy smokes. I'm going to retire, guys. Screw this. It's over, guys. Channel's over, guys. If we don't get those likes, it's over. I'm out. I'm out, guys. Okay, I enjoy it though, I have to say. I enjoy it. 200 on the way. Much love to everybody. I will see you tomorrow. A little bit update on Bitcoin levels, scenarios. Has been explained, okay? What we need to see for a recovery. What we need to see for, this is a lower high zone. And bullish case scenario is getting that flat for the moment, okay? Or maybe this being an ABC. It is possible for this to be an ABC. However, we would want to see another leg down because a C wave doesn't finish in 3 waves here in a zigzag. So we would want to see one more low. Having one more low is going to be interesting, guys. I would really be interested in a local double bottom. Point of control, 96k. If we move down from here, I will be looking for that reversal for sure, right? You get the deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After the 5th wave, big bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After the 5th wave, big reversal bounce. Okay, if it were to be the case that we do get one more low, I would consider it as a 5th wave. Much love, everybody. Stay safe, trade safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.